Hey, I'm Lou Balchaza.
Hey, I'm Jacques MOOLMAN.
And this is the producer masterclass for The Beat Speak.
Based in Johannesburg, joined a band called Airship Orange, and that's how I met Isaac Levansky. And then eventually through Isaac I met Louis Balchaza, and we formed a band called Shadow Club, which has been touring for the last 5 to 7 years. We've released 2 albums. Recently, about a year ago, I started dabbling in production in a home studio, working with Logic, work on Mac. I had a need to sort of creatively express myself in another genre, and so I've gone in an electronic direction, and I got signed to Sony about a year ago, so my production sort of kicked in about a year ago, and I've worked with various producers like Craig Massive, Ross Jack, and Alex Parker, and I'm still definitely in a learning phase in terms of production. I think that you always will be if I think about how it's been for me so far, and I'm definitely having a lot of fun with it.
We're having like one of those late night studio sessions, drinking water and stuff.
Early morning.
And I had this tune called, it was originally called The Bass Addict, which was named after a patch on the Novation X Station synth. And we were in studio and like messing about and whatever, and I showed Jacques this tune, and the next thing he just like freestyled these badass lyrics, it was almost like a rap.
It's an example of a track that just came together quite easily. I heard the beat and I got into it. I think we'd been trying for quite a long time. We'd been listening to various other tracks, and I think that's why it worked so well and took off. I think that's why we both sort of worked so well on the track.
So here we are in studio. We're looking at the track The Beat Speak. We're here with TRUKKA and Lou Balchaza. The track's very it's cool and it's interesting because TRUKKA and myself used to have another outfit called Patch Saver, which we mentioned earlier, and it was a live electronic duo, and this whole track was recorded live with electronic kit and with 3 synths like receiving MIDI all at once.
Yeah, we had nothing to do back in those days. So we would just jam for like 8 hours a day, and this was one of the tracks that we worked on that we loved quite a lot. It was called The Bass Addict, and this is kind of what it sounds like on its own. So yeah, like Louis said, that's just an electronic kit. We've got a click track in there, and then he's sequencing MIDI to a whole bunch of synths that he's tweaking live as we go. Yeah, the freak of tweak.
Yeah, so it all happened live, and then we came into studio. We took like whatever separates we could, because we couldn't actually we
couldn't separate the track. So we had at the end of the day we had we had the drums, the bass, and the synths all on one track, and then it came time to mix this tune, and we were like, holy shit, what are we gonna do? So we brought it all into one project and kind of laid it together with vocals and a whole bunch of other stuff and like extra bits and pieces to try and fill it out as much as possible and just like balance it out, and I think it kind of turned out pretty well. So if you solo it, that was the original track. It's all on just one channel there. It's all in one wave. And I've EQ'd it, I've compressed it, I've kind of put a stereo imager on it, a bit of reverb. You can hear when those big drum fills are happening. I've like increased the reverb quite a bit on the entire track, so it just like makes it swell quite nicely. Then I added in a kick drum, which is very subtle. It's just underneath, but it kind of fattens out the bottom end a little bit. And we've got these left and right panned like atmospheric synths that sound like that just kind of give some extra depth and a bit of just a bit of texture. And then obviously the vocals, which also we didn't do much to back in like 5 years ago. I think Louis processed the shit out of them and made them very very distorted and like saturated, and that's what he gave me. And we decided to work with that vocal.
That's all you had, yeah.
Yeah, we decided to work with that and not kind of reprocess it because it sounded quite cool. So that's all, you know, that's basically what it is. There's a bit of EQ in the vocal, there's a CLA vocal plug-in. And I just did some extra effects, like I duplicated the vocal channel, I made it very reverb, I compressed it a lot, and then I put like a sidechain compressor on it, so it's, you hear here. It's like this very like washed out, just like bed for the vocal to sit on. It just kind of fills up the empty space. It's quite a nice trick.
Thanks for joining us. I've been Jacques Moolman.
And you're still Jacques Moolman.
I still am.
And I'm Lou Belchaza. And if you want to know more about how we made the beat speak, then just drop us a message. Go to www.bonetownrecords.com or check out Bonetown TV on your YouTube. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
And you can follow Chambers on Twitter @ChambersSake and on Facebook Chambers, one word. There you go.